Hi, today is my review on the sweet potato, that's there, the baked potato helium technology. I've had the baked potato in all three technologies, LFT, TimberTech and now the new helium. And straight off the bat I would say the helium is the best, 100%. The durability is phenomenal for how light it is. I hand this over to my friends and they look at it as a big, fat, wide, chunky board that's going to weigh a ton and not perform at all. The only truth in that was the TimberTech was a little bit heavy, which meant it handled heavy chop really well, which is good in a groveler. But if the waves got good and clean, it wasn't so much of a bonus, it's more of a hindrance. Whereas this, I've had it in really small slop to really big reef break, pumping wave, and it just went amazing, absolutely amazing. The closest one I would relate this board to would be the OG Lost Pole Jumper. Pole Jumper, it turned really good, paddled pretty easy in fairness, turned really well, but the only downside I found with the Pole Jumper was it felt just a little bit hard to catch on rubbishier days, whereas this will get you into a 2-foot mushy wave no problem and a 6-foot pumper no problem. But in saying that, you do have to manipulate your fins to help that happen for you. There's two fins that really stuck out for me, and in saying that, this set I'm going to show you now is just one set, and the other one was a combination of 2 sets. So to have the perfect combination of fins would get really expensive. So the first fin I'm going to show you today is this one. It's the Power Twin with the stabilizer fin. Now this loosened up the board amazingly, gave it lots of speed and the ability to turn really easy. I put a quad in and I got the speed but not so much the turnability because of that wide tail. But with the twin fin and this little stabilizer in the rear, it gave me that good ability to turn it and get that speed up and really whip it round. Now these boards, the baked potato, were the predecessor to the sweet potato here, and this board now has been in production since 2011, 8 years. Not a lot of boards can boast that amount of time. I always look at Shaper's catalogue, and if a board's been in their catalogue that long, then there's a reason why, because it's a good board, it performs and it's popular. Now I've been on the baked potato since day one, since 2011 when they first came out, and I think it was LFT then, and that's my second favourite construction. Don't think you can get them in that anymore, but if I was to get one over the helium, it'd be the LFT, then the TimberTech. I've surfed these from a 5.9, 5.11, and this is a 6.1. This floats me, gets me in waves real easy. I've got a lot of power in my legs, so it's easy for me. If I was to be critical, I'd say a 6.0 would be perfect, but unfortunately there isn't. So a 5.11 if you don't mind paddling and missing a few, 6.1 if you got to catch 99% of the waves you go for and compromise a little bit on your turnability. But all round, once it gets into a bigger wave, that 6.1, 5.11, 6.0, it really doesn't matter. Once it's big, it'll feel like that's not an issue. It's just when it's smaller, you can do with that little bit less length, that less swing weight in the nose. Of course, on a little wave, you haven't got as much room to manoeuvre and turn, so you just need that little bit of extra swing on the little. So if you're looking at this as your everyday, like, get to the beach, it's rubbish, I would say go the 5.11 if you can, in my size, my weight, which I'm like 14.5 stone, 15 with a full gear on, and 5'10" height. So yeah, if you want it just for your really, you got a good like high performance hybrid short board, then get 5.11ish if you want just it to grovel for you. I'll just show you the other fin sets I use now. I tried the split keels, Mac Biolus ones, went really well, but for the first time I've used these fins in this type of board. It didn't feel that great. It felt very tracky, very stiff, and not a lot of speed was coming out of it, which is a shame because I used these in the Chumlee and they worked fantastic in the Chumlee. Loved these in the Chumlee. Wouldn't use these necessarily in this board, but I did use this as a quad in this board, which is the Raptor medium quad rears. But interesting fact, these are identical. So if you ever have this set and you lose these ones, all you need to replace them with is this. Different construction, yes. These have more flex than these do. These are a stiffer fin, so more predictable. But if you're thinking of grovelling, then you want flex, which will give you that little bit of push in the wave. So they're a good replacement. If you can see, they're literally identical. Okay, so I had the Performers extra large in the front and the Raptor rears. Sorry, I'll do it the right way around now. Raptor rears, and that worked really well as a quad. But like I say, my favourite, which I'll get onto now, was Performers in the front and HS large rear. So thruster setup with the HS trailer fin, and this is the setup I used on that big 6-foot reef brake. Really hollow, big fast takeoffs, and it just held in so well for a tail that wide. But this is an extra large fin and that is a large fin, and it's a thruster setup, so it doesn't take a genius to work out. That's giving you a lot more grip than say this 2-in-1 setup would, or a quad. But it's nice to know, by spending, I know it's a lot, but £200 on 2 sets of fins, you could ride this board from really small conditions to really big, have one board and just change your fins to suit the day. It's just, it is that versatile, you know. And I know it's an expensive option to spend second-hand board money on fins, but I do believe it's worth it. Tried the MRs, and I found those a little bit too traditional feel, a bit too slow, and they didn't really want to turn as much. I've got a friend who surfs the Psycho Nitro. He surfed the MRs. It looked amazing. He was getting enough speed, good turns, so maybe it's just the board that didn't like the fins. But I do believe these Power Twins with the stabiliser are a really good match for this board. And like I say, if it gets a little bit bigger, then I would go for Performer XLs, or just depending on your weight and size, the large with the large HS trailer fin, or medium if you're a bit smaller. But that for me was a magic combination of fin. I take out when it's like literally it's like knee high, it's so small. But this board does it great for me. I get rides when longboarders are on the catching. I can get a little wiggle on, little turns here and there, and it's great for me. So we'll have a quick spin around of this board so we can see the profile, so we can compare the two boards, so you get an idea of how different the baked is to the sweet. Okay, this is now the sweet potato. Done a review on this already, some of you may have seen that, but I just want to use it as a gauge for you to compare the lower rocker. Feels lower in the nose, lower in the tail, more of a round tail, more of a round nose, and a lot more of a fuller rail. I'll do the spin around for you, so you can try and get a gauge of the difference in rocker and volume compared to the baked potato, which is the update of this board. And as you can see, it's a lot lower. Still got that double deep spine running through the middle of the board, the V spine, which means the spine board goes lower than the outside rails, and you see what both look like on top of each other. I really wish I had a quiver of my old boards that I've bought in the past. I've had all 3 puddle jumpers, the original, round tail and puddlefish. So if there's any questions you'd like me to answer on those 3 boards, I'll do my best to answer your questions and give you a bit of feedback on my experience riding those 3 boards. Some good, some bad, but if you're interested in different grovelers, I've also surfed the Average Joe. That was okay. Very much a thruster board, didn't really work as a quad. The Almeric Pod, surfed that one. But if there's any board you're interested in, just hit me a bit of a message and I'll try my best to answer any questions you have on any boards. Chances are, if I've not owned it and rode it myself, my friends owned it and I've rode it. So give me a shout out if you want. Okay, so now I've took the fins out and I've put the boards one on top of each other. As you can see, rocking away. So, rocking away, more rocker. But it's a good example to show you the difference between an out and out groveler with a nose flip. Look at the difference between a groveler and a, what I would call, yes it's a groveler, but a high performance one that can surf bigger waves, because there's the difference right there. You know, it's hard to see just on the table like I'm doing and I'm going yeah it's this, that and the other, but that really shines for me how much it's got. I know it's rocking on a table itself because the sweep set had a rocker itself, otherwise it'd be purling constantly. But if you just see that, spin it around again, just so you guys get a good idea of the difference. I know nowadays you probably can't get a sweet potato anymore unless it's second hand, but there's good ones like the Couch Potato by Lost. Okay, so the second favourite fin setup, or my joint first, whichever way you look at it. If you're a thruster guy or a twin fin or a quad, I'm kind of all, I like them all in different ways and different waves. So HS, large rear, extra large performer fronts. As you can see, that tip of that fin is literally just nudged behind the tip of this diamond tail. So this is a very upright fin, so that being that far back like that, it's going to give you a lot of pivot. So pivot means sharper turns, but with the thruster setup and these being extra large, you got that hold when you need hold. You're coming off the top, you're going down to the pit, big heavy turn now, back up, you got the grip. But when you get to the top, this little fella, large, is going to release a lot easier than having this extra large that comes with the performer in there. A very upright fin, about 32-degree canter, 31 maybe, and they're really good. I did try it as a large performer, but because the board is so big and such a tail, it just didn't have the right effect I was looking for. But just by going up one side to the extra large performer, which are a great fin, I found the hold I was looking for. So have fun, surf safe, and I'll see you again for the next review. Hopefully that'll be on the Firewire Seaside next, which is interesting. I'm really excited about it. Had a couple of surfs so far, good feelings. Thanks a lot, thanks for watching.